Okay, okay. I am live. So post your comments down below and let me. Okay, here I come. So I either much have like, cause you remember me of you telling you that I either much have either much have put out a tweet the either much the other day, and either much I couldn't either much come on though because either much last week our lights had went off. I was supposed to be coming on doing a Monday night raw because our lights had went off at 3:15 in the morning time, and I stood up all night. I'm looking like. And my wife either much had told me, "Ain't you either much supposed to be going to sleep?" Worried about some damn lights at 7 o'clock in the morning because our lights ain't either much the only one had one out. So it was our everybody else power either much had went out in the neighborhood because it was issues in our area. Because he was either much in our area, and the only thing that was either much thrilling me about we either much get into some freakery shit went on SmackDown. You either much know that how I either much say that Ric Flair ain't either much got either much probably just wanted to be WWE had released him because he didn't either much like the way how his daughter was either much being booked it. Because every time you see, look, I don't hate Charlotte. This girl is a two-time NXT Women's Champ. We seen her bend the ring with Becky Lynch. We seen her bend the ring with Alexa Bliss. We seen her bend in the ring with Sasha Banks. We seen her bend in the ring with every member on that roster in NXT. When it was Black and Gold, when she came up the main roster in 2015. And then we the much had Charlotte has beated them on a roster. She's a 5-time women champion. She's a 2-time SmackDown women champion and a 1-time tag team champion because she is gonna be the one that fill up those ranks. Is a 12-time is gonna be a 12 trying to beat uh, her father John Cena record. So I'm sitting up there looking up as Charlotte is the one that puts the clouds on any platform. Like, look, the fans, they hate Charlotte. They stir because Rhea Ripley don't either much want to put over Charlotte because Charlotte is either much, she is that selfish because Rhea Ripley don't either much like Charlotte, and Charlotte don't like Rhea Ripley because she don't either much want to put her over. And either much, look, WWE, they doing everything deep down inside. They are possibly can destined. keep Charlotte in the WWE. They do not want to lose her to AEW. And then when you either much have the like Vince McMahon, that old C9 bastard, you know he ain't shit. Then Vince McMahon either much tries to either much talk to Charlotte backstage. She just walks off and ignored him. And like we see this like this bullshit. Look, WWE probably would have Becky Lynch become the next Charlotte. That's what they would probably have her be. And then WWE is trying to run her ass out of the company and have her be over there with AEW, be with her father, Ric Flair, be with Andrade, and be with and then either much look, and if AEW gets Charlotte Flair over there, the AEW, I'm telling you that women's division over there is gonna be a whole lot better in for the next 10 years because you got Brent Breaker, you got Stadlin, you got Hashida, you got Jay Kroger, you got Thunder Rosa, you got Ruby Soho over there, and you either much got look, you either much got so much talent on that roster that AEW, that company, I just enjoyed that company so much. Because I'm glad they either much got Manakal Black. He done beat Cody Rhodes twice. And and the reason why I'm saying that is let me read this. About let me read it. Because we the much had AEW, what I saw on a Saturday night, and I had set up there, I had enjoyed it. So it's the second straight weeks where Dynamite is airing live on a Saturday night instant of the usual Wednesday time slot that due to TNT chosen to show NHL cover over the last 2 weeks. Dynamite returned to Wednesday this coming weeks. So in case you miss it here, my AEW Rampage review was covered Friday. Showed it was pretty good. Show was a outstanding match between Pac and Andrade that I rated over 4 star out of a 5. So this is AEW Dynamite episode 107 at the Edition Arena in Orlando, Florida on me following. So AEW Dynamite inducted a video out to Star that shows it's Saturday night, and you know what that means. Welcome us to the show from Jim Ross, who is on commentary with Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. They did a rundown of what come up. The crowd in Orlando was fired up. So we in an AEW World title immediately tournament match with Bryan Danielson up for two in Big Pop and Dusty Rhodes with a cheer as well. JR, not the Dusty, was 50 years old with over 30 years of experience. Danielson is 10 years younger at 40 with over 20 years of experience. So, Adler, this is the second match in the AEW World title elimination tournament after Orange Cassidy won over Rampage. I don't remember that last time Dusty won a match on Dynamite, but they announced a monitor. He had a good record, so I guess he wins over the YouTube show. Most of the guys in the tournament should be in well. Some of them are chose. So AEW World Title Elimination Tournament, Bryan versus Dusty. Bryan and Dusty shock hands with shock hands with the cheering them. The fans were chanting for both of them guys immediately, and they exchanged some moves like arm drag. Bryan took control as he hooked Dusty leg and then dropped back to that mat to stretch Dusty knee. Bryan tries a submission, but that Dusty got to the ropes to Bryan, and Bryan with a forearm. Dusty with one of his great punches, and Bryan sent Dusty to the floor. Bryan hit a suicide dive onto Dusty on the floor. Dusty come back with a dive of the apron out to Bryan on the floor. Back in the ring, Bryan with a drop kick to the leg. Bryan with kicks to the body. He went for a wrist lock and Dusty hits a German suplex, which is not a normal move by him, but it looked it good. Dusty chopped Bryan in the chest repeatedly. Bryan come back with a kick head, but it got any hook lock superplex. Bryan applies a armbar followed by a stomp on the arm. They show a free agent, Tony Noose, watching in the crowd. Bryan went up top, but Dust went there to make would hit a superplex for two. The easiest to please a crowd champ. This is awesome for them. Bryan was sent into the turnbuckle. He did a backflip off the top. Dusty follows up with a power slam and a Curtis call. Receive a suplex into a pin for a 2 count. Dusty worked over Bryan with a 10 punch in the corner and a middle finger solid, and the fans were chanting along with it. Bryan counted a bulldog as he saw Dusty into the turnbuckle and working over Dusty with a chop kick to the body. Bryan set up Dusty on the top. Then Dusty sent him onto the top rope in a clothesline. Got to for Dusty and Bryan got a hold of the arm lock for a label lock. Dusty tries to fight it, and Dusty got his right foot on the bottom rope to break it. Bryan worked over Dusty with kicks. Dusty comes back with punches. I think Dusty shouting come on motherfuckers to them. Then Bryan with a backslide pin for two in a scissors kick to the head. Bryan with repeatedly stumps while holding the arm of Rose. Bryan charging at Dusty, who turns around with a clothesline. Dusty hit a power peel driver for a 2 count. The fan chant AEW for the effectively of those two great wrestlers. Bryan with a knee, then kick to the body and kick to the head of Bryan. Went for a um GUILOTINE glass lantern choke submission. Dusty was feuding in the submission fading in the submission. Then Bryan whipped his leg around the body and Dustin with feet fading. So the ref Bruce Reverbs called for the bell to give Bryan the win. It went 14 minutes. The win by submission. Bryan Danielson, this was a great match as expected to be talented veterans with over 50 years of pro wrestling experience. The fans were into it right away by chanting, "This is awesome," writing a few minutes, but then it really got good. Was Dusty hitting a wrench of moves for near falls where it looking like he might win, even through most of us watching amazement. Danielson would win. JR made a point during the match that Bryan won all of his matches. He's not undefeated since he had draw with Kenny Omega. But speaking about the win, only with a different moves, and this was other differences move that Bryan won with "I am happy." Dusty is in a good place in his life and enjoyed his run in AEW for a guy in his 50s. He moves like he would why younger. And he always knows how to put on a show. Bryan is always going to have a great match as long as he get time. He like he got in every match he has in AEW. I Kirsten have not been disappointed by how AEW has booked it, Bryan, so far. I said I am liking what they doing with Daniel Bryan because I remember him was teaming up with Team Hell No, him and Cody Rhodes. I mean was teaming up because Daniel Bryan beat it Dusty Rhodes. So I like what they are doing with him. So either much that I would like. Look, Daniel Bryan is going to face John Moxley in the final tournament because I hope AEW pulls that trigger. I really hope they do that because to me, that John Moxley end up winning because he gonna feel like that AEW World Heavyweight Championship was either much stolen from him. Cause you remember what happened at Revolution when Luke and Gallows got involved and attacked him, and the explosion was gonna blow up at Eddie Kingston. He was the one that came out and saved him. He had to put his body on top of John Moxley. He had to do that. Uh, he probably wanted to win back that AEW once and for all, and I don't think that is not going to happen. So that Daniel Bryan probably would get a shot at Kenny Omega. I mean, I'm telling you again. So we get after the match. You had Dr. Sampson and the referee choke on Dustin after the submission, and Bryan went on to check on Dustin too, but they camera feeding out. Bryan and Danielson went means. He faced Lance Archie or Eddie Kingston in the semi. I mean, they gonna win. He gonna win. In the elite group, Kenny Omega and Adam Cole and the Young Bucks were doing a promo. Kenny monitoring the Dark Order will face the elite next week. Omega ripping on Hangman Page while talking about Halloween Havoc and saying Page was cosplaying as a cowboy. Omega say he know Page in security. Page said if people know him the they the why Page knew how they wouldn't be cheating cowboy shit. They would be saying crowd shit. Omega credit code for that line. I said, dude, that title gonna have to come off of Kenny Omega. I don't care what nobody say. He been holding on that title. You done proved yourself against Pac, Orange Cassidy. You done proved yourself against Pac, Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, Christian Cage. You done proved yourself against Bryan Danielson in a non-title match. You have proved yourself against against everyone in the AEW roster, but Adam Hangman Page is our best choice to beat Kenny Omega and take that AEW World Heavyweight Champion off of him at Full Gear Metal Mayhem. Because if I wouldn't be surprised that if AEW, if they decided not to go in that direction and take that belt away from Kenny Omega, I see Bryan Danielson should be the one that do that. Because I don't care if he beat it Bobby Fish. I don't care if he beat it Dustin Rose. And then he get a shot, he probably gonna beat Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer. And I like the way how Bryan Danielson been booking. And Bryan Danielson, man, he always been my boy ever since when he was in WWE. But I'm looking forward to that match. So Air is a video Air features AAA Team Tournament champion LTR talking about building their legacy. Dex Haywood talks about waiting to take the AEW Tag Team Championship against Lanchi brother. Uh, Cashin Wallow said last year they lost the AEW Tag Team titles at Full Gear, but now they are back and they are the great tag team of all time. The Penta Exora Morrow and Alex Berthold, A Bert Henson did a promo with Alistair, had a scarf on his face with Alistair talking about how he was going to be revenged. Haywood said, if you think the Black Eyes was bad with under Full Gear, and that should be incredible tag team match at Full Gear, which Lance Brothers and LTR back out for the tag team titles. Lucha Brothers is still gonna retain at coming up at I said the Lucha Brothers is still gonna end up retaining at at Full Gear because it's their time to shine. They done beat the Young Bucks. In a steel cage, in a cage match, that's the way you keep the elite from them interference in the match. So, It's daytime. It is daytime. I don't see them dropping those belts. So, last hearing from Stain get interrupted. Stain entered from an interview with Tony Savannah, who wanted an update on Dave Allen, Big Pop for the Stinger. Tony tried to ask Sting as question, but the Maxwell Jacob Friedman shows up for an interrupted. MJF told Florida to show some class from once MJF was on the stage calling Sting Darby Little Emo. Daddy MJF said this is that he's not there to start a fight because the last thing he wants to do is embarrass the icon. MJF said Stain didn't want to answer that, wasting a spot space question because the truth is Dave Allen isn't coming back. The fan chanting shut the fuck up at MJF said he keep doing the promos and ripping on the fans from solving problems with a gun violence and in chess. MJF said that Stain is bad person will yell at a bad boy in the crowd. MJF said that because of Stain knowledgeless, it will Darby has ended up in the same spot as Lex Luger in a wheelchair. Stain punches MJF, who was in the ring. After all of that, MJF was assaulted by Wallow and Sean Spear, who hit Stain in the back with a chair. Shot Wallow hit Stain with a chair to the back. Spears and Stain with three chair shot to the back. MJF sat on a chair and the MJF said he knows Darby is watching and MJF wondered if he break Darby Montrol. Now MJF had Stain head in his head. MJF say no matter how many times people chant for Allen and fans chanted Darby right on a cue MJF and they can chant your name. All they want this is in your future. Right here. MJF said that Allen would always be second best to MJF. MJF say he the past, present, and the future of professional wrestling. MJF punches Stain with the Dynamite diamond ring of his head. MJF left with Pinnacle Bobby, Wallow, and Spears. With Stain was alone in the ring. But my first thought is the Stain must be an asshole if nobody tries to help him all that time. Not a single representative or security guy tried to help. I know it's pro wrestling. It's just a way to get heated on a heel, but it almost unrealistic. There's not a single person who tried to help a respected man in his 60s from a 3-on-1 attack. The Lex Luger line by MJF was really mean that what he does since he a God knows from getting um genuineness he in his promo, and this was no different anyway. They are clean building to MJF versus Allen in full gear in a match between two talented your guys. I mean, yeah, because you had CM Punk came either much out and either much helped that I can't think the person name that he came out and helped. right now, but it would get back to me at some point. So either much CM Punk is taking on Wallow, and you telling me that he didn't come out and didn't come to the aid of Stain. He was outnumbered 3-1, and they really either much beat the whole heck out of Stain. But him and Dave Allen, when Dave Allen is when he come back, he is healthy. He is gonna be doing some crazy shit. He's gonna be flying, diving. He's gonna put everything on his line to sacrifice his body because he is gonna get his revenge from MJ. Yeah, I mean from Dave Allen is gonna come back and get his revenge on MJF what he did to him. And I know that MJF is a heel. Like, you know damn well we ain't supposed to be liking no heel. Because I remember Queen told me a couple months back, when you see a heel, you ain't supposed to be liking no heel. You are supposed to hate a heel. That's what I remember. That's when she told me when I had got it into her live screen and talk about when we was on when I was she was covering Monday Friday night SmackDown and she was covering Monday night Raw when she was covering. You ain't supposed to be liking no heel. You are supposed to hate a heel. So that's what I'm talking about. And either much so that match is gonna be taking place at Full Gear. So Britt Baker was interviewed by Tony Schiavone, who moderated Baker has to defend the AEW World Title again. Tay Tail Carton. Baker said all Tail has done is show everybody here as well. Baker has shown she the top women in AEW. Baker said that she is going to beat that ass in that tail tie. Tay tie. Love showing off all the time. Baker, you truly, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD Baker, was without her friends. I believe Rebby is on the Jericho cruise based on her social media post. But I moderate in my Rampage review that I think Baker would be a great Carntal as Full Gear. So now it's offer. I doubt debut. I doubt it. Carter beats Baker for the title. It ain't happening. What have I told y'all that Thunder Rosa is gonna be the one that beat Britt Baker for that AEW World Champion. It probably gonna be taking place at AEW Revolution. That is where is gonna be taking place at. And we the much get that because you have Big Breaker, she done beat it Nyla Rose, she done beat it Hashida, she done beat it Ruby Soho, she has done beat it stop Lamp um like she done beat Mo and she is gonna beat Jay Kroger, but both of those are heels, so it really don't do that for me. Look, I like Jay Kroger. That chocolate thing. I love me some Jay Kroger. And then we the much have either might have this AEW World TBS title tournament. Ruby Soho versus Penn Lopez Floyd. So Floyd throws her jacket at Ruby and got some offense in. Floyd went for a higher kick in the corner. Ruby avoided it and got a wrist lock. Ruby with a forearm to the back. Ruby with a kick to the grit in the rain kick to the head for two. Ruby with a kick to the chest by the apron. Then the bunny stripped her wide down to the ring. In support his buddy Ford, Ruby tries to hit Bunny so Ford kick her into the turnbuckle. Ford punches Ruby on the apron. They wanted a picture-in-picture break. The match run return with Ruby hitting a belly-to-belly suplex with a chop. Ruby with a knee, kicking and kick in a scissors kick to the head. Ruby with a running forearm to the back for a 2 count. Forward dad and move where she avoided a charging Ruby. Then Ruby off the rope and Ford hit a cutter. It looked like Ruby run right into it. Ruby got an inside cradle for two. The messing up a whip into the corner spot. Since Ruby had to run into the turnbuckle for the next spot instead of the ropes. Obvious anyone Ruby with a back heel trip. Ruby up top jumping off with nothing forward with a kick. And Ford hit a grit buster with two knees to the Ruby for two. Bunny sent forward some bass um, necking into the ring. Ref Rick Knox kicked them out of the ring, and Ruby rose up for the pin and win after about 10 minutes. 3.5-4 is was a solid match, a few awake sports here and there, but I thought they did well in team out, come up with a creative finish since Bunny Ford has he have had successful with the bass necklace. And what did I say? KNUCKLES necklace in the past is smart to have the play into the finish and actually make a reference look carpet by sending them necklace out of the ring. Excuse me. Ruby capitalized for the win. After the match, the Bunny joined Ford, tries to fight Ruby Soho, but Red Velvet run out to help. The heels left the wrestlers, leaving the ring to end the segment like that. Yeah, because Ruby and Red Velvet, those two would team up together and beat the Bunny because they will come in and beat Red Velvet and the rest of those heroes out there outside the ring. So Ruby Soho, I like the way how AEW pushed at her I mean, she is getting better and better with a new character, a new gimmick, a new instrument of music. I mean, the same gear what she had on when she was in the WWE, because Ruby Soho, she is getting a whole lot better in the ring as a singles competitor. Because right now she don't need to win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, because you either much got Thunder Rosa is the only one that who should be beating her. So there was a backstage promo features MJF and Sean Spikes, with MJF saying he sent Darby Allin a message, and Wallow shows up and complained about the bullshit last week when MJF saw Wallow into Stain. MJF said that he was just a that nervous. He thought Wallow did a great job and he loves him. And MJF said he knows Wallow has a thought job, so MJF is a assisting him and accountable buddy, and that shows Spears MJF, so he loved them and he left. Maybe it's time for Wallow to get a storyline after 2 years. It makes sense to do it. I mean, Wallow is gonna turn on MJF. He turns babyface, and then you either much he can screw. He's gonna fuck over MJF coming up at AEW at a full gear, and to help Darby Allin get his payback, and then he leaves full gear with the win. So you know what is that gonna be heading. So we get Anthony Green versus Bobby Fish. Both of those guys were in WWE a few months ago. Green with a crossbody block of the top finish, jumping over the top with a senton splash on Green finish. Dive Green into the rope kick to the leg in a drag scoop leg with flat fish with a running cross line fish with an overhead suplex into the ropes, and the roundhouse kick to the head for the pinfall went after 2 minutes. So the winner was Bobby Fish. I ain't never said nothing bad about Bobby Fish. Cause if you either much end up getting, I mean, Roderick Strong over there. Then you have Kelly O'Reilly with his contract play out. Then you have him go over there to AEW, and then you can reunite. You see, you got Bobby Fish, you got Adam Cole, you got Roderick Strong and Kelly O'Reilly. Those is gonna be the undisputed era. Maybe they can cross paths with a lead, the Lucha Brothers, in the Pinnacles, in the Inner Circle, and you either and they can cross paths with Dan Lamb, because you got that tag team division. I mean, wait a minute. In the Dark Order over there in AEW, they can cross paths with them, and you can look at that tag team division over there in AEW. It's gonna be looking a whole lot better than WWE division over there in AEW. Because this was a quick, there aren't that many short matches on Dynamite very out, but this was done to put over the finish, and as a threat, Green is a good athlete with uh for a talent try. It was just more about putting over Fish. After the match, Fish saw Green again. The roast finish, kick him in the back on the left leg finish, beat up Green with a punch with the announce acting shocked by somebody in pro wrestling acting like a heel. Fish applies a sleeping to Green, so CM Punk run out for the save finish, left the ring where he exchanged words with Punk in the ring. They played Punk theme song and the fan cheered for Punk, who had a black gray beard like there were. CM Punk chant as Fish talked trash to for a disaster. Punk lifted to cheer. So it seemed like the match was more about the post match angle to put over Fish as he a heel. It also set up a match between Punk and Fish, who are two guys are the same age in their early 40s. That should be other win for Punk. So I don't mind. I mean, CM Punk gonna beat Bobby Fish. You know that, and then Bobby Fish is gonna be the one that put him over cleanly. So we get the Leo Rush, and Dante Martin was interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Rush said he has to show Dante the way and show he has the tools. Rush trash Matt Striker about losing. Well, Martin said that Striker is one of the best in the world. Rush said he knows Dante is one of the best in the world. Rush said he knows Dante can beat Striker. Russ say he knows he can beat Striker, and he got them a tag team match on Rampage against the Striker brothers. I mean, yeah, because he can't even much cut a promo. Leo Rush can cut a promo. He is very experienced in the ring, a very hard in-ring worker. He's a very high flyer off the top rope. He's good on the microphone. Leo Rush is so very talented in the ring. And he can either much go. You can put him in there with CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. You can put him in there with Adam Cole, with Eddie Kingston, Morrow, Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, MJF, Wallow, Darby Allin. You can put him in there with anybody that he can work with. He can either much get that talent to be put over, because I'm not taking nothing for granted from Leo Rush, but he has improved in the ring. Is a star. You seen him did it in WWE when he was a cruiserweight champion, but with Leo Rush, they can do the same thing with him in the WWE. They can do the same thing with him. I'm sorry, AEW. They can do the same thing with him, but he just have to get in the ring and prove it. And we get the AEW title elimination tournament. Lance Archie versus Eddie Kingston. Archie sent Kingston into the turnbuckle and hit a running back elbow followed by a hard chop. So Kingston did a eye poke. Archie lift up Kingston for the blackout finish, but Kingston figure out of it and applies a sleeping building back on the head Kingston with punches Archie off the ropes and a clothesline to the back. They want to a picture-in-picture break. Archie hit a splash on Kingston for a 2 count. Kingston staggering back up with a sleep in. Um, Archie sleeping him back in the face. Archie charged. Kingston moved. Archie kicked him in the chest, and Archie went up top. Archie jumped it off with a moonsault. Kingston moves, and Archie launched it on the top of the head. Grease that is rig reverie bounced it. Mooseberg saw it and checking on Archie right hand. Roosberg was talking about Archie who was down in the rain. They replayed it again, and you can tell Archie hit his head hard in the rain. Dr. Sampson checking on Archie out of the floor. Archie went back into the ring, and Kingston did a roll up of death for the pin and win after 8 minutes. They could have had a wild brawl for 10 minutes or more, I am sure, but Archie landed on his head by accidentally. Immediately, that had to change what they planned in on the fly, and having Kingston roll him up was the right minute. Be smart and be safe. Don't risk feathering injury was any unnecessary bumping, I am sure. Archie was furious by what happened, but the pro wrestling sometime and a update on Archie is the people in the arena said he was about to walk and was helped to the back. Hopefully he's okay. Archie tweeted this. Listen, we chose to do this and talk or help and lies in our heads. Every night I done that move 100 of times over my career just under retos. Couldn't be much worse. Thank you to all at AEW for taking amazing care of me and protected me, and I'll be back. Yeah. Now it's Eddie Kingston facing Daniel Bryan, and I think Daniel Bryan is going to be the final one that faces John Moxley. And I already done told you that a while ago. So you know that Daniel Bryan is going to be the one that beats him next week on AEW Dynamite, and he is going to be built up strong. And that loss is not end up going to hurt Eddie Kingston. So we get Eddie Kingston will face Daniel Bryan in the semifinals on Rampage on Friday. That should be a win for Danielson. So we get the show return with Man of the Year. Do Ethan Page and Scorpio were in the ring for a promo with Dan Lambert, even ripping on the inner circle, even spoke about Scorpio, Scott Penn, and Jack Hager in AEW, even talk about Santino Ortiz by simple saying that him and a Sky look better than them, something like that, either ripping on Chris Jericho who wasn't there, he on his cruise, and commenting on Chris flatting with Page and then Zenon and monitoring Joe Ray Marvasquez hitting Jericho with the knee. Page calls Sammy Guevara a PR nightmare and said that they are the future of the company, not Sammy. Sammy Guevara shows up with the TNT title around his waist, some boring a Jericho line. Will you please shut up the hell up? Sammy says sometimes life sucks, but he worked his ass off. And because the TNT champion Sammy said that the only person that give a shit about anything that Ethan has done there is himself, since he all egos that Sammy calling them Bart a fat face dipshit. So the fan chanted it. Lamb Rat told Sammy he actually proud of him. Little fella Lambardi said he heard backstage room that Sammy sucks on the stick. Lambardi want a 10-man tag team match with American Top Team, a Man of the Year versus Inner Circle at Full Gear. Only if Sammy put the TNT title on the line next week on Dynamite against Ethan Page. Lamb Brat said if Sammy wins, they got the match, but if Sammy loses, then he lose the title and leaves in a circle forever. Sammy threw about it. You got yourself a deal, asshole. Sammy said when he beat Ethan, he got a this then three members of American Top Team that are in the match. Sky and Ethan went after Sammy on the ropes, and Jake Hager and Santino and Ortiz arrived to help Sammy. The heels ended up running away. And good promo here when Sammy stripped in the stepping in furs. Jericho, who is away on the cruise, I also like the Ethan Page got to speak since he is a skilled talker as well, but he is in the background too much. Lombard deal to set up the Full Gear is fine because Sammy will in all that going to lead that match at Full Gear, which was the obvious direction for the storyline. It should be an instant match at Full Gear when it happened. And I like that it will be a different the everything else on the card since it's on a 5-on-5 tag team match that should have a lot of cool moments. Yeah, I told y'all that it's gonna be on 5-on-5 elimination of match. You got 5-on-5 man of the year in the inner circle. So, and whoever gets eliminated gotta go back to the locker room, and then so whoever team caught on top that lead full of gear with the win. So and wait a minute, Chris Jericho is gonna be coming back next week because AEW is gonna be returning to Wednesday night. So that's 2 weeks. It has been on Saturday, so they are gonna be moving back, making a return on Wednesday night. They are going to be back on TNT because I'm glad because we are going to be doing our Heart Radio Show podcast on that Our Heart Radio Station show on that, and make sure you show up and you here to support that. John Moxley did a promo talking about the world title elimination tournament. Moxley said that his daughter grabbed his peak and he said he didn't give a creep about any of this. Moxley say he doesn't care about the tournament and the rating that Demo, who said that on Twitter, all he care about his daughter. Moxley said that he is what he does for a living, and he said that this is what he does for a living. He said that this is like everybody goes in a dark alley, but only one guy comes out. Monster say, "Get your before you get me in. He going to win this damn thing." So the Wednesday that John Moxley faces the Dark Order 10, but we see, because when it come down to that, though, like, he is gonna turn heel, and he need a theme song music. That's what I'm thinking, cause I don't mind him going up against Bryan Danielson. I'm talking about like Dave Boy Allison, CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Wallow, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, David Boy Allen, CM Punk, and either much I don't mind him seeing that, because Cody Rhodes, he can go up against Cody Rhodes and go up against Cody Rhodes, because he needs something. John Moxley, he really needs something that can help his character out. So the Dog Order group of seven wrestlers were three with Hangman, and Adam Page walks up to them. Hangman said sorry about everything that happened after he left and said that the group was right. Hangman said that they all did what they thought was right. Hangman said next week they going to be closed until Halloween, so he did with them to be undone. Dark Order guys talked it among themselves about how they were going to be in costumes. So we see Jungle Boy has interest with the crowd humbling along with the song. Jungle Boy is a 13-3 this year. Brandon Cutler, this stooge, was already in the ring. So Jungle Boy versus Brandon Cutler. Boy, this clothesline followed by a suicide dive. Boy charging Cutler, got a boot up in Cutler, teasing a Panama sunrise move, but then boy hit a back body drop Cutler with a slap the face by slapping him a few times and hit a power bomb, applies the Shanu as in a RE Shuna tap on Cutler, who tapped out. It was about 1 minute. I didn't give a damn about that. But Jungle Boy, he was not even much done with he was not done with Brandon Cutler. He was not done with him, so we get an easy win for Jungle Boy over Cutler. The Stooge is it what what it needed to be. With Jungle Boy beating Cutler easy. Jungle Boy said this was a nice little warm up. Jungle Boy said that he feeling good and ready to get again. So what wanted one of the elite pieces of shit to come out of there right now. Jungle Boy applied the sharpener. Tapping again, Cutler spoke into the microphone. Somebody help me. Adam Cole walked it out and say that Jungle Boy is a embarrassment. Cole say that maybe they should fight right here, right now. Cutler made his way down to the ring. Boy punches him off the apron, and then the Young Bucks show up from behind with a double super kick. The fans chanted the Luchas and the Elite beating on Boy on the stage. The Young Bucks hit the BET target. Double knee on Cole, hit the broom knee to the back of the head. JR said no Lucha this week because he was attacked last week. Cole told Boy that they run AEW the Young Bucks through Boy out the stage and chasing through some tables that were probably surrounded by some cash pads. You could even see more of the padding the Jungle Boy was landing on. It looked like a thin dog died. So Jungle Boy was yet a babyface on the show that had no help on anybody that tried to help him. They should leave Cole versus Jungle Boy in a singles action. Maybe they go with Cole and the Young Bucks versus Jungle Boy and the Lucha. And Christian Cage at Full Gear. I don't know. They have a few options at last. I mean that because to me though, you have Jungle Boy would probably go to Elite and tell them when I was getting attacked by Adam Cole and the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler, what was my help? None of y'all didn't even but try to come to my rescue last week when I was throwing off the stage through a table, and y'all wasn't nowhere to either much be found. So because we get an 8-man tag team match, the Dark Order versus the Elite, the TNT champion versus Ether Page next week. We get TBS Women Champion Serena Dawn versus Hashida in the AEW World Title. 11 John Moxley versus Dark Order 10. Um, Bobby Fish versus CM Punk in the Mad Friday. Daniel Bryan versus Eddie Kingston. Scorpio Brother versus Leon Rush and Dante Martin. Oh yeah, coming up next week. The main event time, Malachi Black. So we either must get the was a video feature. Morrow talked about somebody Ingerman, him and teasing him. Morrow said that he was be God favorite champion against. He keep on talking about you and Steph said I am not sure where it going. The light went out in the building was joke. Where my wallet and said it was a Bobby Heenan line. Heenan Rude Malachi Black made his entry with the light off in the building and a spotlight on Malachi Black sitting in the ring. So we had Cody Rhodes made his entrance with the coach, Arm Anderson by his side. Cody tries to get the crowd to cheer him, but some of the fans didn't like him. So yeah, because Mankind Black versus Cody and Arn Madison, there was a Gressisbelly averager going or submission, and Black hit a kick to the head. It turned into a butt of a surface. Black with a sweep kick and a hard kick to the chest. Black went for a knee bar submission, but Cody turned into a stomp on Black. The fans boo Cody when Cody run the ropes. Black hit uh, a back elbow. Cody hits a power slam into a pin, landing to some boos. Cody teases left it belt into the crowd, and some kids can change the belt so the fans cheer. Black with a Gouge Gobi. Black grabbed a steel chair from under the ring. Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson went down to the ring to watch the match. They went to the picture break. So when the match returned, Cody gave a Black Cross Rose neck breaker off the apron through the top, and Cody back is with the table instead of Black body. What is the point of the move if you are the one going through the table instead of the option anyway? Black went under the ring a belt and he come up blinding, so he did a blind blade jaw. Black throws Cody into the ring post, and Cody did a blade jump as well, so he was blading to Arn Anderson was in the ring. For some reason, the fans were chanting, "Get the Glock," refusing to Arn represent gun promo. Cody and Black was taking their time getting back up. Cody keep looking to the back, and there was Andrade. Andrade did had Monterey to arm like he was shooting a gun. That Andrade assists Hosea went into the ring and arm hit a spine bust on in him. Black spit the Drew Dare Reed miss in arm face. Pac was in his ring gear on the ramp, and he figured Andrade to the back. Cody charged it at boot. Black with an arm elbow, then a moonsault on standing Cody, and Cody hit a crossroad to the booze. Black kicked it on out at two in the fan chair. Black to the apron. He kicked it Cody in the chest. Black up top, and he jumps out with a double foot stomp to the stomach. Black with a rising knee, falling by a bridging German suplex for a 2. Black hit Cody with his spin kick to the face that used to be known as Black Mass, with Cody feeling into the falling into the ropes, and so Black couldn't put him. The referee talking to the wrestler to let them know how much time Cody got up, as if it was nothing. Black sending him to the floor, and Black won't for a moonsault, but Cody moved it. Cody hit a suicide dive way to no sell. They kick on Black on the floor with the fans. Boo Cody some more. Cody hit a Cody cutter on the top rope in the cross road against Cody. Pick up Black again. Then fans boo the announce did motoring it all. And Cody hits a Tiger drive 98 for the pin and win in 12 minutes. So one half two, this was pretty good and fast piece at late of the big moves from both guys. Some near fall that was a believable. I like those fairies of offense from Black. And once again, the pick packing was a key because it feels like it's intense fighting between two guys that hated each other. With that said, I really don't like the finish because Cody Base no sold the Black Mass spin kick so that he couldn't do some more spots to finish the match. Why should I care when Black doesn't and spin kicks in the future when we saw couldn't doing moves like a suicide dive excuse me, and Cody Cutler 1 minute after he took a guy finish, you have to protect finish better than that. I got that they right at the end of the show or in the time a Latin, but man, that made a Black finish look like shit. I am so I'm sure that people that never complain about anything that AEW does, we ignorant that points that I made, but I try to point out everything I am fairy in my receipt. Cody has said he doesn't want to be a heel again since he did it in lot in his career already, but I saw him. He changed his mind because those fans hated him even though he was wrestling as a babyface getting revenge in a storyline that took 7 months that hated Cody and loved a Black. This was Black first loss in AEW. I don't think it should have happened. I mean, it was a good match. I'm not mad. Aleister Black came and beating him twice. And Aleister Black, really, Cody Rhodes took Aleister Black to the limit. He pulled up a hell of a fight against Aleister Black, and they both was busted up open from the forehead. So Cody Rhodes beating him with the crossroads, and Aleister Black had put him over cleanly. With AEW, man, they have so much talent over there in that company. You can either much understand wrestling, the fans that's eat that shit up week after week. So they are doing a whole lot better in WWE because Tony Khan, look, Tony Khan, I don't have nothing to say about Tony Khan, but you see what he wanted on last week. He said he is gonna beat Vince McMahon in Friday Night SmackDown, and you had Friday Night SmackDown with the Fox FS1 and said we not fucking with no AEW Rampage. So he had went right over there and said that. I don't much blame him. Cause Fox FS, look, Tony Khan though, don't want to compete with Monday Night Football. He don't want to compete with college football. Tony Khan don't want to have nothing to do with that because that would make his ratings either much look bad on TV. Because Tony Khan is a smart guy. This man can buy $300,000 business. How much is he want? Is he want to? This man is the one. He pays people on his job. He pays writers on his job. Tony Khan is a expert, so that's why he is smart, like he is. So we don't went all over the place. We either much talked about AEW, so Dynamite. So and we either much had Jim Ross either much had skin cancer, so he was either much was taking treatment. So I either much had went on Facebook and kept them in our prayers. So we either much know we don't like to hear that man. It is just sad. Jim Ross is a smart man. He is the toughest SOB on the commentary team. Nobody don't have that golden boy like a Jim Ross. Nobody don't have that fire, that tenacity, that experience, that on commentary like a Jim Ross, who been the color commentary over 40 years. He has been the commentary on there 40 years because Jim Ross, he's a smart man. He is a smart man. How you think he put out barbecues on his show? Barbecues. Mm. And SmackDown is a new era. So this week is taking place just one day after WWE Crown Jewels has been on Thursday. This show is also the start of the new era of SmackDown with the near draft roster in peace following the draft pick that were made entry this week. So I thought Crown Jewels was a great show. They review in here is you didn't read it yet. This finish of some feud where otherwhere continue. No SmackDown title change it ahead. Well, Roman keep the Universal Champion anyway from Brock Lesnar. Thanks to help. But some SmackDown begin with highlights of Roman Reigns' victory on Brock Lesnar. There was a referee bump after Lesnar hit Reigns with a F5. Say Lesnar did a pin with a no referee. Then Paul Heyman tossed the Universal title into the ring between Reigns and Lesnar. They forgot out the title and they use a pliers to deliver a double super kick to Lesnar. Reigns hit a Lesnar with the Universal title and other. Referee went into the ring to count the pin for Reigns to win the match. But let's hear from Reigns. But the family music of the head of the table, Roman made his entry with the Universal Champion, which because I said, what did they say? Which was held by some special counsel, wise man, Paul Heyman. Range had one finger and some pro went off. Rain was wearing that Kool-Aid look. Bloodline shirt. The announcer team of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee were at ringside to welcome us to the show. They put over the ring Lesnar. Roman asked Heyman if he was holding that title for Reigns or for Brock. Lesnar said that when he put his hands out, Heyman did the right thing, was the microphone, but last night at Crown Juice, Paul just thought the title in the ring. Reigns put his hands out and Heyman headed Reigns the title, and Reigns told him he not great at his job, but Roman was Reigns said he the best of the best, landing to a mix of cheers and heels. Roman said he carried WWE on his back for years and a half, not that long, really. He the Trevor Chief, he the head of the table, he the greatest champion of all time. Reigns said he smushed everyone. Reigns said that the list he got so long, so let go back to WrestleMania. Reigns said Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cesaro, Finn Balor, Hollywood, Megastar, John Cena, Paul Heyman, boy Brock Lesnar smash. Roman say, speaking of Brock, what did he say about some Heyman pulled out of his phone to find the tweet? Heyman read it for Brock said, the moment I arrive at SmackDown, I will beat Roman Reigns. Since the fan cheer that range knocked the foam out of Heyman's hand. Reigns said he would beat Brock so bad that he tweet now. It was not a Brock tweet, it was a WWE tweet, but that was funny. Reigns say he runs WWE and he's not going anywhere. Reigns asked the fans if they want to see Brock Lesnar tonight. The fans cheer, they boo. When Reigns asked if they want to see Reigns whip Brock ass, and Reigns told the fans to acknowledge the tribal chief. They fans were a ball booing Reigns like it at the entertainment. There was no sign of Lesnar. Said Lesnar must be scared. Reigns said he wasn't leaving until Brock come out. And strong heel promo for Reigns as unused. L-U-S-U-A-L. Used. I like how he a jerk to Heyman, saying that Heyman isn't good at his job. Roman is there was a great line. I think Roman was really coming into his own in team and a promo, and they fans allow reason to him, whether it boos, cheer, a mix of both things. They also did nice job of teasing the idea of Lesnar showing up to kick Roman ass, so it's good. Give fans reason to keep watching if they want Lesnar to do that. Reign was still in the ring, talking about how he was the greatest out all the time, where the fans were booing him. Reign said that Lesnar fear him. Range wonder why does Brock Lesnar runs his mouth and not show up to back up his word. Reigns say he giving those people fear much time. Reigns said he took care of Obelisk Brigatin of climbing. There was nothing else for him to do. They fan chant, "We want Lesnar hold the microphone" to acknowledge the chant. Reigns said, "I do, so did I, but Brock did what want me because he's scared of me. I told you this." Reigns said they are all scared of him. Reigns said that he were parted ways and Brock music. Brock Lesnar made his entrance to a hang pop once again, just like at Crown Jewels, wherever he has a preach in the last few months. Lesnar slowly walked down to the ring and he went out the range. Lesnar ducked a title shot for Range and hit a clothesline. That sent Range out of the ring. Lesnar whipping Range into the steel steps. Lesnar started at his former arrogant Paul Heyman. Lesnar hit Roman with the steel step. Lesnar tossed the steel step into Range with McAfee screaming about bringing angry Lesnar, picking up Reign for a F5, but the Usos showed up. Lesnar tossed the Usos into the ring post and into the barricade. Reign tried going after Lesnar again, but Lesnar dodged Range back first into the ring post. Lesnar grabbed in camera form ringside and saw a camera guy down Lesnar, swinging the camera. Reigns moved and Lesnar hit the ring post. Lesnar tossed the referee Chad Patterson down and WWE officials Darby over the announce table. Adam Pearce sent some wrestlers down to ringside and Lesnar tossed them down. Reigns and the Usos were on their stage. Lesnar grabbed the Universal title in the ring and paused with it. That was a great segment with Lesnar kicking ass just like the fans want, and Reigns, retreated. The Universal with the Usos showed that they were dominant. The fans were strongly behind Lesnar for the moment his music hit. Have Bryan dominant Reigns like that was the way to book this, is what the fans wanted to see, since Brock was scared out of the Universal, so it's giving the fans what they want in the first part of the show. I mean, yeah, because you either much have the announce table between McAfee's side and Rain talking about the cheer. I mean, before the break, they replayed Lesnar destroyed Reign. The Usos and others tried to get in the way. The WWE officials, Adam Pearce, did a promo in the ring, say Brock Lesnar accepted in response. But Pearce said that Lesnar caused a product damage. He endangered the crew of officials in the WWE Universal. Pearce say he can't allow that to happen. Pearce informally used that due to his action tonight, and he are definitely suspended. Lesnar slowly walked out to the ring, pointing to hear his ears as if he didn't hear what Pearce and about him. Lesnar got into the ring with Pearce as the fan chanted Suplex City for Lesnar, who grabbed Pearce by the shirt collar. Lesnar told Pearce to tell him again. Pearce said he didn't have a choice. Pearce, I said you definitely suspended. Lesnar saw Pearce into the turnbuckle. Lesnar pick up Pearce and give him an F5 in the ring. Lesnar grave Pearce of the F5 part of Pearce Penton repeat others. Then Lesnar and that fans Lesnar asked Pearce to tell him again. Pearce place was out. Lesnar Laughter leading with the fans cheering. Lesnar give the fans what they want to the F5 two times in a row. Pearce, the suspended, will likely lead to Lesnar begin off for the few months and come back for the Royal Rumble in January. Maybe Lesnar will be in the Royal Rumble match, or maybe he will be in the match at the show. It just seemed like the Brock suspended would end around that time anyway. I think this was great. Just like the segment before it did take 30 minutes to go through all of that, and there hasn't been a match yet, but I think it will work. This is a replay show of Lesnar attack on Adam Pearce, and then Pearce was shown getting help to the back. I mean, dude, Brock Lesnar ain't gonna be back either much to the Royal Rumble. Then you can have him winning. That set up a match against Brock Lesnar, and with Roman Reigns, when he get ready to drop that WWE Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar ain't coming to no house shows. So we all know of that. So you probably won't see him around SummerSlam into 22. Sonya Deville was showed talking about on her phone where a branch of wrestlers were behind her. Kayla Braxton tried to talk to Sonya, who was on the phone, and Kayla left. Naomi went a match with Sonya tonight, but then Sonya said she has other things to do and told her to get out of her face. Drew said there was a choice of there. Drew say he going to issue on a challenge and see it to issue on open challenge and see that SmackDown Superstar has the balls to fight Drew. Say Drew walked towards the ring. And I say, you know what I just said? I said Naomi should beat the hell out of Sonya Deville. Need to beat the hell out of Sonya Deville, and have her off for television for a couple of months. And either much have her, then she gets fired. And then either much when you don't, Paul Heyman will go to him talking about, can you restate? Naomi and give her back her job, because if you don't, you ain't gonna see Roman Reigns pop up on TV. So I'm glad she come back with a new character. Now she's a heel, and now she can work. Look, she can take on. You can have her take on a Xylee, a Sasha Banks, a Tegan Knox, and Natalia, and you can either much have her take on, because right now a Charlotte. Look, you can't have heels go up against heels, because I said you can have, look, Naomi and Charlotte. Naomi and Sasha Banks, they work well together. So Naomi, you need that can help her character to be a heel. Drew McIntyre has entered with a Angel the Sword for his SmackDown debut, or returning to the brand. If you want to put it that why silent Drew has been one only Raw for a few years, it is a change of Drew, who is a former two-time WWE champion. Drew did a promo asking for somebody to get their ass out of there so Drew can kick it. The lead to Sami Zayn show up to answer the challenge. The start of Sammy's song was the same, and then this rest, it was something. Sami Zayn did a promo about he was a monster, uh, strong Radgus, and said he was forgotten about. Sammy said he actually the longest tenured member of SmackDown, so he a locker room leader and then a great keeper around. Sammy said Drew is a former WWE champ, but around here he a now new kid. Sammy said that he is the superstar of SmackDown and the fans boo him, so he accepted Drew challenge. Sammy said when he beat down, he remembered that beating a SmackDown superstar on SmackDown. Sammy, one of my favorite in WWE, but I don't have much hope in him. Using that, well, Drew awesome. I and also one of my favorite as well. Drew McIntyre versus Sammy. It took 42 into the show for the first match to begin. Zayn and run away from Drew to start the match. Then Drew got in hold of him. Drew and sent Zayn into the barricade they want to break 1 minute into. Zayn was in control of Drew with a elbow smash of the middle rope for a 2 count. Zayn did some trash talking. Sammy Drew power block back with pushes, hit a belly to belly suplex in the ring. Drew with a cross line, then a belly to belly suplex, a neck breaker. Drew set up in the corner. Zayn balled it to the floor. Zayn with a neck breaker again, the top rope. Drew blocked it, a move, and Zayn with a elbow smash. Drew come back with a uh, glass Glasgow kiss head buddy. Then Drew challenged Sammy to move and Drew went shoulder first into the ring post. Zayn whipped Drew shoulder first into the ring post on the outside. Zayn set up in the corner when then he marked Drew with a countdown. Zayn ran into Drew, hit the Claymore kick for the pin win at 7 minutes. After 7 minutes, yeah. I mean, they ain't even much trying to book. Sammy Zayn is a WWE superstar. You put him in these matches, he seemed to always be coming up short. And it's like they not trying to give Sami Zayn a storyline push. I mean, dude, I don't like his character. I don't like Sami Zayn character. You know I don't. So when his contract is up, he could be on his way out of the door too. I mean, go over there and join Kevin Owens over there in AEW, or go to TNA Impact Wrestling. So it's, I mean, a pretty good match between two talented guys with McIntyre pick up the win at as expected. Zayn did a nice job of getting heat and playing to the crowd. The Claymore kick remained one of the most devastated finish moves. It was only 7 minutes, and we got to see 4 minutes. So I wouldn't have liked it to see more than fans like the Drew at. So we get a video at later using now Hit Road debut on SmackDown. We are going to get to that a little later. The King of the Ring was at ringside, and it the King of the Ring coronation of King Xavier Woods. Next, Kingston made his entry to support his friend. So the program match for was shown with highlights of Xavier Woods beating Finn Balor to become of the King of the Ring at Crown Jewels. Kobe is the ring doing a promo and induction using to King Xavier Woods that lead to Woods making his entrance with a trumpster in hand. Woods played the New Day song of the trumpster as he liked to do. There was a thump thumb in the ring along with a cap and a crown. Kingston monitoring the clock then proved a protection that would show be beast on his kingdom. Kobe put the crate on Woods. Well, fan cheer, you deserve it for Woods. Kingston presented Woods with the scription, which was healed up in the air. Kingston said that the crown would serve as a physical representative that you have early as king, and Kingston placed the crown on Woods. Xavier Woods did a promo saying that the fans have shown him so much love and effectively in the arena as well on the social media. Xavier thanked the fans for making his dream a reality. Xavier said that where he came, there would be opportunity. Xavier got a shot pop momentum, which Kansas, and there was the King Gospel, which Kingston read Holy King Woods that the fan chanter repeated to the turn of the New Day while Kingston was playing with the crate and the New Day singing played a simple coordinate ceremony for the new king. I thought there would be a interruption from some heel, but there wasn't any of that. The fans were supporting it of King Woods and almost some fans would think that King Kofi would turn on Woods or maybe would become a heel king, but I hope not. I like the New Day beginning together. I mean, WWE, they just can't do nothing right in that segment. I mean, that segment with Kobe Kingston and Xavier Woods, it was corny. They just can't do nothing right. I mean, like, y'all so damn lazy with these damn storylines. Y'all seem to not like give a fuck about it. Y'all don't try to take nothing out and put nothing in it and build up on these. I mean, with these segments. I mean, y'all do the same shit week after week. It's pitiful. Becky Lynch was backstage with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky said instead of a title change, maybe Becky two belts make a title since she never lost the Raw Women's Championship. Lynch had a smile on her face to the end. I say, you know what, though? Either much with I hope Bianca Belair wins that SmackDown, I mean Raw Women's Championship because she is going to get her revenge back, and I really hope she do. I'm a big Bianca Belair fan because I follow this woman on Instagram, but I know she bad though. But I don't follow her on Twitter. I respect her and Montez. But look, she is one hell of a battle. She's a hard in-ring worker inside the ring and outside the ring because when she came up to the main roster, she really wanted the Royal Rumble. This girl done beat Sasha Banks. She done won an ESPY award, won the number one top Women of the Year, won and beat it Bailey at Hell in a Cell and Backlash, and then and I almost beat it. If Bailey was healthy, she would have Bianca Belair would have beaten her ass at Money in the Bank, and Bailey would have put her over and made her is a strong WWE SmackDown Women's Championship because like she could have been the one that went into Survivor Series as a SmackDown Women's Champion, and you know this damn old man, old bastard in Stamford, Connecticut, all the time. Now you told Becky you are gonna beat uh or I mean Bianca Belair in 27 seconds. I was pissed off about how all that build up what they did with Bianca Belair. They have this throw that out of the window. And like I see why I don't trust y'all WWE because y'all do not do right with baby faces. Y'all just don't. That's why I don't trust none of you in the company. Oh, y'all seen Ali gonna be getting her baby. I don't want to talk about that. So here we is again getting a another rematch. We just seen Mustafa with a back body drop in a clothesline to the floor. Mustafa to the apron, followed by a back body drop to the floor. Mustafa jumps out of the top with a cross body block for a 2. Ali pulled Mustafa by the thong. Trump and it the ropes. Ali hit a set out power bomb for the 2. Mustafa hooked the arm leading to a Tigger suplex. Mustafa, man, Seuss with a clothesline that Ali sold with a flip bump. Masood charged all with a boot up in a sunset flip attempt, but Masood hooked the leg for the pinfall. This match I did not care about. I didn't care for it. So we get his new talented is gonna be coming to SmackDown. We the much get Reggie Holland standing backstage. Ali did a promo saying she would give SmackDown and she will be a lot more bigger. I mean, we get Angel Goddess and Roberto Carly did a promo about when you look this good, win easy. Sheamus said that everybody knows he delivered bagging after bagging after bragging. That means good matches. I agree. So it was a quick way to introduce main roster newcomer Holly and Ali with Gazin and Carl, Carl Rito were known from Raw, but they are also young guys with a bright future. Shame is obvious, a future WWE Hall of Famer that does put a banger matches, as they said. And guess who we get to? The hit roll for some of Isaiah Swerve, Scott Dawson, Top Dollar, Ashanti Adantis, and B Fab, the incredible themselves, talked about money. B Fab said every time you see her, she be Fab. Scott um, talks about his experience in winning the title everywhere. They said the Top Dollar has the best rope. They all spoke with Dollar saying that they WWE got for new stars, and if you don't know, then now you know. I really like the Hit Row group in NXT. It's obvious WWE liked the group a lot since they were picked by SmackDown when they were in NXT as heel group. I like them even more, but then they become faces when they fans start supporting them. So I guess this is the role they will be in. Scott is the best wrestler in the group, but Dolly is the biggest, so he might be future. The most Adonis is so in the ring to be Fab isn't the experience in the ring, but she's strongly as a talker. So we get, hoping, obvious where to locate guys. Swerve star further team and hit a elbow smash up the middle rope to the back to the Dollar with a sometime splash. The top change both guys and slamming them down. Scott got the tag landing to run kick into a sidewalk slam for the pin win in about 1 minute. So a squash match to put over Hit Row. I think they have a lot of pretending as a babyface tag team if they the directed in them I hit a approach that it is the plan for them. Scott is the best wrestler in the group, as I already said. So all as long as he is a future regular, that a good thing. And I mean, we get to Kayla Braxton was showing standing outside they training room. Sonya Deville walked it out saying that Adam Pearce is going to be okay. Eventually, Sonya claims she said was going to tell Lesnar he was suspended, but Adam isn't and should go his way. Sonya said we have other combustible stimulus with Charlotte and Becky later, which Sonya will have to headline. So Sonya left. So Rick Boogs on the ramp to induct the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Matthew calling Boogs the greatest musical on earth and claimed it was Mages. Nakamura is again happy. Corbin up next. The heels do know as Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss made their way entrance. Both guys were leading a lot of use well. The fans booed them. They were tape promo with Corbin thanking Nakamura for chasing his happy days and Moose doing a bad joke in the Legion. But we get Corbin with a punch, Nakamura with a knee to the ribs and side kick to the head. Nakamura with two knee strikes by a jump knee drop. Nakamura worked it over Boogs with strike kick to the body knee and a foot attack to the thorn. Nakamura charged Corbin moves and Corbin sent Nakamura to the apron. Corbin with a suplex with Nakamura bumping off the apron to the floor. They lead to a break. Corbin was in a control with punches where Nakamura was out of the mat. I was bet slow. Come back from the break. It happens. Sometime Nick ducked a clothesline and hit a jumping kick to the head. Nakamura with punches, kicks, and roundhouse kicks to the face. Nakamura with the running knee left to Corbin ribs for a 2 count. Nakamura charged Corbin. Went for a slam. Nakamura got out of the end. Corbin hits a spinning slam for a 2. Booze start a play. Nakamura sound off their guitar. So they crowd Nakamura along with Nakamura with a spinning kick. And Moose grabbed the guitar to make Booze stop playing the grid. Nakamura left the ring and kicked Moose. Corbin sent Nakamura into the steel steps. Corbin sent Nakamura into the end, and Corbin hit the ends of days slam on Nakamura for the pinfall win after 9 minutes. I didn't give a fuck about this match. It don't do nothing. Don't do it for me. So we get it was just an average match between those two guys that wrestled many times. Either this year when Nakamura was beating Corbin in late, well, they feuded over the crown, the pressure of Moose made a difference in shutting up Booze so that lead a Corbin talking average to win. I don't like the kid of Bookie because it's the same champion losing a non-title set up a title match format that WWE always does. Corey might get the title for Nakamura just to change things up since Raw US champion is a face that Damian Priest say maybe WWE want to change this title before Survivor Series. But and here we get to Charlotte and the Raw Women's Champion was backstage. Say Becky Lynch say hand over the title and pretend it was likely Charlotte showcased that Becky carried for most of the career. Charlotte Howard, Charlotte for Crown Jewels when Charlotte win a championship. Becky Lynch head onto the title wheel, pinning Sasha Banks and heading onto the ropes, which did matter in a triple threat match, which no disqualification. Bianca Belair and Sasha were both sad about the loss, where Lynch was happy about her win. Becky made her entrance as the SmackDown Women's Champion. She was dressed in her wrestling gear. There were most cheers for Lynch. Even thought she is more of a heel. How that main event segment is up next. So we get to the Women's Championship ceremony. There was about 10 minutes left up to the top of the hour. Charlotte made his entrance in a robe in her wrestling gear along with the Raw Women's Champion around her wrist. Charlotte main eventually Raw eventually in the weeks in now she main event SmackDown to as a remainder. Charlotte was drafted to SmackDown where Becky was drafted to Raw. WWE Sonya Deville was in the ring with both champions. Charlotte was granted by boos from the crowd. Deville say this was a gathering they are here for a very special transcript. Well, Sonya Summers that Stimler, Sonya told them that they will exchange their championship and they will go to the brand as the new champion. Lynch and Flair were both hesitated to do what they were told. Lynch knocked the Flair title out of her hand. The Bill took the title from Flair and Lynch tossed her title at Flair. Charlotte held up the SmackDown Women's Champion above her head and said, how about winner take all tonight? This fans cheered that. Sasha showed up to join the fist fast festival invited. As part of the SmackDown brand, Sasha said that she runs the Blue brand. Sasha said that Charlotte thinks she's going to take over and said, bitch, you out of your damn mind. Charlotte said this is a PG show and that was not very nice. Charlotte asked Banks if she speaks left out Lynch and say that she's going to go to Raw and see other in them at Survivor Series. And there is office titles awful title swap with Lynch in as the new Raw Women Champ. Well, Flair is the new SmackDown Women Champion. No twist or anything like that. Just a title swap. Don't I love it? No, not really. I don't. I think they should come up with something else or something that is more creative, but they're just how WWE is. This shows our things. I think they could have done something else or something better. Put the uh, champion in a match. The loser get the title from the show, and the other title goes up for grab in a tournament. They that just one idea. There are a lot of things they could. So Sasha say that she is the star of any show she is on, and said that Friday night is boss time. Flair marked Banks and wonder if anybody even remembers when Banks was the champion. Banks punched Flair and Flair tried to kick Banks eventually. He avoided it. Flair hit a shot to the ribs or something like that, and Flair left the ring. Banks hit a mortal double knee attack on Flair on the floor. Deville tried to separate them, the two. Woman player back up the ramp where Banks were on the apron. This was the ending of the show. So it looked like Banks it back in the babyface role that she was in Airless in the year before she turned on Bianca. That is not really suspicious since SmackDown is lacking in turn baby face women, so putting Banks in the spot making sense. Sasha doesn't have to change much as a character since she always doing the same kind of promos. Play always get his ass choke it. Crook heel champion, so she fine in the role we know. Banks and Flair have feuded many times in the past, but it has been several years since the last time, so I guess I can't be fresh again. I said, yeah, she have feuded a bunch of times. Look, ain't nobody don't want to see those two feud 9 times again. Nobody don't want to see Sasha Banks and Charlotte feud. Nobody. So either much so we have been Corey Graves and Cameron Carmella got married. So yeah, because they are gonna be on Monday Night Raw. Gonna be on Monday Night Raw, so who cares? We've been all over the place. We've been on here for 2 hours and 13 minutes. We done talked about AEW Rampage. We done talked about I'm sorry, AEW Rampage, AEW Dynamite. We have talked about SmackDown. So And I'm looking at the card of Tony Khan over there. They either much got Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley in a circle versus American Top Team. Dave Boy Allen versus MJF. CM Punk versus Wallow. Thunder Road versus Jay Kroger. Christian Cage versus Adam Cole. The Young Bucks versus Jessica Express. AEW Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers. And the Brothers versus LTR. So I'm either much. This show, yeah, it was good tonight. AEW always see to put on a good show. Yeah, but I'm out. I'm out.